I grew up at First Presbyterian Church, got married there, moved away, and when Jack and I came back, I told my parents, I hope you don't mind, but I would like to join Second Presbyterian Church because Dr. Hollingsworth is there and I admire him and I've heard so much about him. And so they were fine with that. And so in 19, I guess, 58, Jack and I joined Second Pres. So I've been there ever since and love it. Love it. I've learned a lot and studied a lot and just love the people and what we do. And it's a biggest part of my life. It's my church. Well, he was there when I was a teenager at First Presbyterian. I would hear about the young people there and Dr. Hans. And actually, my father knew him fairly well. And he said, I think that's very nice, that you want to do that. But yeah, I had just always heard about him. I just like people, I'm interested. I'm thinking back in my earlier days. I remember my father would meet people, and he would ask questions about them and what they were doing, and maybe I picked it up from him. I don't know, but I just I enjoy people and the groups that I've been in within the church. I've always met people that I could relate to, and it's been and is a wonderful experience. I think listening is a big part of it. It is a part of it. And back in the 70s, I had always gone to Sunday school, the adult Sunday school groups, and they were all lecture classes. And back in the 70s, I remember Guy Buford and Margaret and Dee Moore, and there were many others who decided it would be nice to have a class where you would be in a small group and relate to each other. So I said, okay, that sounds good to me. And that was kind of the beginning of the kind of Sunday school class that I enjoyed was listening to other people. And, we would get into smaller groups, 4 or 5 maybe, and I would say, oh, do you feel that way too? I didn't know that anybody else felt that way, and that's very rewarding to meet people who think the way you do. And maybe they disagree, but that's okay too. But anyway, that was the beginning of my meaningful Sunday school class, I think. And I preferred that kind of a Sunday school class to a lecture class. When I was there, Women of the Church was big. You had, I bet 6 or 7 at least circles. And that's the way I got to know people I probably would never have known otherwise if I hadn't been in a circle. So I don't think they exist anymore. But anyway, uh, that was a big part. And I actually was president of Women of the Church one year. And that was a nice experience. Yeah, and Jack and I were in some seems to me a nighttime group where we studied or discussed things together. And interestingly enough, when I got married, my husband was not a Presbyterian. And some of you may be familiar with Will Kennedy. He was a professor at the seminary, but I had met him when I was in college in Spartanburg. And he came to our church one summer as the student minister. And I pulled him aside and I said, Will, I think you need to talk to Jack. He needs to join the church. And he did. So, and he became very active in our church. So that was good. That was good. I would have to say more women probably were in the study groups than men, but I don't think that's necessarily true now, but it was then. Oh, yes. I mean, it wasn't you have to go to church. They just knew. They did. And my oldest daughter, who lives in Columbia, she is very active in the Eastminster Presbyterian in Columbia. My son lives in Charlotte, married into a Catholic family, but he loves to go to Second Pres when he comes home. And of course, Mary's in our church, and she's been pretty active too. Proud of her, very pleased. And, so I actually have two because Becky's an elder in her church, and it's very nice to have that. I liked doing service work outside the church, whatever our circle was doing. And I was on the, was it outreach committee, maybe? Service and outreach. I liked that very much. And, I volunteered at the West End Center. Family service is another one of my big things. I was on that board for years and still have some connection with them. So I liked being out in the community too, as well as the church. We had a speaker at Women of the Church. It was back when Meals on Wheels started. And I don't know how many years it's been, 50 maybe. But they spoke to the women of the church, and Pat Lawson and I were sitting together, and we said, we can do that, So that was kind of starting out. Doing Meals on Wheels was I didn't do it that often, even once a month maybe, but it was a good experience for the most part. And also, I said, volunteering at the West End Center, that was very meaningful too, because at one time I was a school teacher, so tutoring the children at the West End was pretty natural. I enjoyed that a lot. And I met people that I probably wouldn't have known otherwise. So I think I was drawn to the service and outreach committee. Anyway, I'm still very interested in what the church does outside of its walls, very much so. I love being in the choir when Jane Rasmussen was there. I think I was on the committee that got Jeff and Mary Ann. I enjoyed that part too. Bible school and supper clubs. I love the supper clubs. That's another outreach kind of program. I think that you get to know people that you might not have ever gotten to know before. And actually, retreats that our church has done. We went to Massanetta. I know I haven't been lately in my elderly years, but I used to go all the time. Having fellowship with the church members, I think that was extremely important. I would have to say I'm very fortunate that my husband was very spiritual, and not a whole lot of men at that time would probably talk about their faith as much. But we were in study groups, and I also I taught Bible in the circle, and that enriched my spiritual life immensely and made me question and study more, which I think it's broadened my outlook on life a lot. I'm very fortunate to be able to still be a little bit active at this point in my life. And I'm healthy, so that's helped. That's helped too. At one point in my life, yes, because after my mother died, my family moved into my father's house where I am now. And that was difficult at times um, to balance the things I was interested in. I think I was teaching school part of the time too. And that was way back, way back. I've had a very rich life. And it's other people, meeting other people and getting to know them has been really important to me. And now I'm alone a lot, but it's okay. I don't mind being alone either. As I said, I'm just a very fortunate person, very fortunate. I think joining a Sunday school class or some smaller group helps you to meet people and broaden your face. It certainly has for me. But then I love people. I love going to church. I love seeing people. I love going to class and being in discussion groups and stuff like that. So I don't discuss much in the class now because of my hearing problem. But anyway, I enjoy what other people have to say. And I love the books that I've studied have certainly broadened my faith. And I think Second Pres encourages people to think, to study, and speak out. And I like that. And I don't think all churches do that. And acceptance of everybody. And that is very important. Actually, a few of us went to the class that George and Bill Lee had, and we met some of our friends that are in Northwest and they're active in their church, and we have gotten together on a monthly basis. Some of us to have lunch together and get to know each other, and that has been wonderful in my old age to do something different, and that's been really good. And I'm delighted with it. It's broadened my outlook. I love that the whole idea of us getting together and getting to know each other on a different basis has been a really a boon in my elderly years to have something new and meet new people. Black and white study has been really meaningful for me. I'm just so glad that George and Billy got together and did this. I hope it continues. I think it's very important to learn how other people think and how they live and what's important to them and getting to know different people. That's something I like. If you don't join a Sunday school class or some outreach or some group within the church, I think you miss out on a lot of rich experiences. And I think I've had a lot. Keep going. I really mean, I think if you don't reach out to others, what do you learn? I love hearing about what other people do and what their life means to them. The church, as I said, has been a big part of my life, and I'm very grateful. I can still go for the most part. I may not hear everything, but I can be in the fellowship, and that's been good. Inclusion is very important, I think. Inclusion And that's why I said these programs in which we get together with other churches and so forth, I think is real important for community. And I said to have gotten to know these ladies out of that class, that has been so fun, so much fun and meaningful. Because I certainly grew up at a totally different time. Things have really changed in my lifetime. Some for the good, some for not so good. I think the church has welcomed, for the most part, changes and reaching out. That's what it's all about. Fellowship and getting to know people and understanding. I mean, people live different lives. That's why that study with the black and white group was so enriching for me to get to know other people and what they think and how they think. And I just think it's important to get to know other people. I encourage anybody who has, joined the church recently or an old member to reach out and be active in programs of the church. It helps you to grow in your faith. It certainly has helped me. I mean, there are people I've gotten to know that I would never have gotten to know and understand about the world. It's all about loving other people, understanding other people and how they live and what they think. Times have changed so dramatically. And I must say that I think social media is ruining our country. I mean, I have my phone. I get on there too, and I just I worry about. I know I don't worry about it. There's nothing I can do about it, but I think it's sad. There's a lot of hate out there, and that's what really is going to ruin us if we don't get together. Compassion we have to have it. That's right. We're all different. We're all different.